Difference between this guy and this guy. Whose side do you think this guy's on? The Assyrians, yeah, the conquerors, the Assyrians. And whose side do you think this guy's on? The slave, yeah, the people from Israel or Lachish. You can tell also by their distinctive hairstyle depicted in archaeology. The slave, yeah, the people from Israel or Lachish. You can tell also by their distinctive hairstyle depicted in archaeology. The slave, yeah, the people from Israel or Lachish. You can tell also by their distinctive hairstyle depicted in archaeology.
Spanish Jew is always dark complexion. Well, the next reference reads, as I tentatively survey the Jewish population on the streets of London, I fancied I could perceive three different cast of features. The first, Jewish par excellence and never to be mistaken. Skipping ahead, of the first form, I need say little to you, begging you merely to recollect that the contour is convex, the eyes long and fine, the outer angles running towards the temples, the brow and the nose apt to form a single convex line, the nose comparatively narrow at the base, the eyes consequently approaching each other, lips very full, mouth projecting, chin small, and the whole physiognomy, in other words, the way they looked, when swarthy, as it often is, has an African look. And the next reference reads, he was a short, dark man with restless and intelligent eyes. He was said to be a Jew, and he was called John Braham. All right, so we also reviewed cranial analysis of Spanish and Portuguese brews and discovered that they matched the skulls of the Negroes. And the following reference reads, the same variability occurs in other finds, but the skulls of most Sephardim or Spanish and Portuguese brews are dolichocephalic, which is the shape of the Negro skull. Now, next, we also read references showing the movement of the Spanish and Portuguese brews from Spain and Portugal into Africa, Brazil, and England, and from there into Savannah, Georgia.
On board the ship, Blanca Island, Blanca B-A or Banca. Oh, the Banca Island, the Bank Island, Island Bank on Tuesday, the 6th of May next. At, Aspley, because that's the F, that's that crazy kind of letter, the S, the F looking S, Aspley, right? Aspley Ferry, a choice cargo of about 150 fine, healthy. Then notice it says fine, healthy. You have it right here, fine, healthy. And then you see fine again, fine Hebos, right? And there's a couple of posters like this where you'll see various spelling of Ebos, Hebrews. It was speaking about Hebrews. So here they had, I think, 250. That thing is a 250 fine, healthy, fine Hebrews. Now, if they were really Hebrews, then truly what they're saying about they're healthy and, the choice of the so-called black cargo, right? Basically. And, we can prove that from their liberty because they're Hebrews, right? So here they talk about just arrived from Windward and Rice Coast, from the Rice Coast, and the whole connection of rice being brought from Africa, so forth and so on. That's one of the Hebrew industries that many of the African.
So I have these college textbooks that confirm the so-called Negroes are the Hebrew Israelites, the real Jews of the scriptures, right? This one here, Creole New Orleans, Race and Americanization. I usually go to this one here. I'm just going to show you this stuff real quick, but you can get these college textbooks. I have a link video up on my page where you can find all these books, right? Between June 1719 and January 1731, 16 slave trading ships arrived in Louisiana from the Senegal region. 6 ships came from Judah, or Wida, a slave trading post. Okay, Judah means Jew, short for Jew, right? The slaves, they came from the kingdom of Judah, okay, and they were evils. I'm just showing this real quick, right? This is the map called Negro Land. See, KM, Kingdom of Judah, or Wida, the slave coast, right? This is where the Hebrew Israelites came from, okay? They have this information in these college textbooks, right? Ibos or Ebos, right? As I was showing you here in this book right here, right? Ibos, right? As you see here, they were calling us Hebos. Then they changed it to Negroes, okay? Hebos or Ebo is a corruption of Hebrew, okay? The British explorers who met the Igbos of Nigeria were quick to identify them as a branch of Hebrews, and so simply referred to them as Hebrews, Hebos, Ebos, and later Ibos. You see that? So also refer to themselves as Hebo, a corruption of Hebrew. They know that these people were Hebrew Israelites from the kingdom of Judah. You see, Wida means Judah. These were the Hebrew Israelites from the kingdom of Judah, okay? Judah, or they call it Wida or Fida or Yuda, okay? They know who exactly we are, right? Have all these college texts, Hebrewisms of West Africa. They know who we are, and they put it in these films. I'm just showing you these things briefly. You can get these sources and do further.
And my soul shall abhor you.
My soul shall what?
Abhor you.
I had to make this very gruelingly vivid. When Paul is talking about the wrath, you need to know who he was totally wasted on. He was wasted on the 12 chosen tribes that Paul was writing to in Rome. He was wasted on us. That's why the 12 tribes are nowhere to be found. Read a little more.
And I will destroy your, verse 31, and I will make your cities waste.
And has our cities been wasted? You're not even going to remember Jerusalem like it was when we were there anymore. It's been lying desolate for centuries. Now the Gentiles are taking over, and we have the fake Jews in Jerusalem right now, the most recent occupiers. Took it from the Palestinians. Come on.
And bring your sanctuaries unto desolation, and I will not smell the savor of your sweet odors. And I will bring the land into desolation, and your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished.
Are they not dwelling in our land right now? Yes. They're shocked, like, how can we get this land of this great empire? No one even knows that we're a nation anymore. They are astonished. Because they remember who we really are. They know. Come on.
Verse 33. And I will scatter you among the heathen.
I will scatter you among the what?
Heathen.
The heathens. Read it quickly.
And draw the sword after you.
The wrath.
And your
the
land,
sword.
And your land shall be desolate.
Our land is desolate. We are in Africa. We are in Jamaica. We are in Belize. We are, in Puerto Rico. We are scattered across the world. The sword has been pursuing us. Even where we settle, the sword come looking for you. Because we are people of covenant. That's a wrath. You feeling yourself in the scripture now? Why we need reformation and change? Come on.
And your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths, her Shabbaths, as long as it lies desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land.
Are we being where?
Your enemy's land.
In what land?
Your enemy's land.
In what land?
Your enemy's land.
The nation of Israel, we are all in the hand of our enemies, brothers and sisters.
The sons of Japheth.
The sons of Japhet, meaning enlarge, represent the geographical subdivision of Europe. In Genesis, we are told, the sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshesh, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz.
That's right, a rabbi who don't even know where he comes from says he's of the seed of Abraham when he is not. Abraham is the seed of Shem. Ashkenaz come from Japheth, which is a whiter race.
These were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. Genesis chapter 10, verses 2 to 5.
After, of course, Jews spread out throughout all different countries. So today they call them Ashkenazi Jews and Sephardic Jews. It's all the same being Jewish, you know. But Ashkenazi Jews are more the Jews that came from Europe, Russia, those countries.
Okay.
And the Sephardic Jews are more that came from Asia or from North Africa.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, convert. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more of the child of Gehenna than yourselves. Gehenna was where they tossed the babies after being burnt as a sacrifice to Moloch. So if you take Gehenna, you would take that Yahusha meant hell. And to make Yahusha's words more clear, he said, oh, they're all the same. From Russia, which are the Khazars, Sephardic, and the Ashkenaz. Ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte. The next clip is this book, Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer the Great.
Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, which said, He, Noah, especially blessed Shem and his sons, making them dark, but comely, and he gave them the habitable earth. He blessed Ham and his sons, making them dark like a raven, and he gave them as an inheritance the coast of the sea. He blessed Japhet and his sons, making them entirely white. The chapters of Rabbi Eliezer the Great, according to the text of the manuscript belonging to Abraham Epstein of Vienna. Translated and annotated by Gerald Friedlander, Keegan, Paul, Trench, Trubner and Company, 1916. The sons of Ham and Shem are both dark. The term itself can be interpreted many ways, but the qualifications here are instructive. Ham is dark like a raven, which is the darkest possible complexion. In the case of Shem, dark but comely is a phrase clearly recalling Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, where the word used is shachar, or shiny black. It is used to describe horses elsewhere in the Bible. We can therefore be sure that Ham and Shem were imagined to be the same color.
Some of you may be confused because you assumed that Noah was white. How can he have black children? Well, Noah was an albino. His wife was black. He took a wife, which was his father's brother's daughter. That is how she got Shem. And the reason why Japheth was entirely white is because that gene of albinoism fed into Japheth. It is genetically possible. Only can a black woman bear two specific type colors of a child. You can be an albino and still produce black children. Black women are the only ones, the only females that can accomplish this feat.
Shem's most famous descendant was his great-great-great-grandson, Abraham.
There was no nation or race mixing before the days of Abraham. Esau sold his birthright and decided to go nation and race mixing, and he doesn't count.
Inside Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible, remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged uprisings. Book of Exodus, redacted. No story of Moses demanding Pharaoh, let my people go. Gone is Galatians, and the verse, there is neither bond nor free, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus. And no Jeremiah. Woe unto him that useth his neighbor's service without wages.
What they've left in are verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which is the famous verse, slaves, be obedient to your master.
Looking at this Bible, it's hard to tell that anything's been taken out of it.
That's correct. I mean, it looks like a normal book. For many enslaved Africans, this would have been the first time they were exposed to the Bible.
A Bible selectively edited to instill obedience, using religion to underpin the horror of slavery. When people encounter this exhibit, what lasting impression do you want them to leave with?
But we want to pass the message on that may this never happen again. The Bible itself is a whole book. It's not one that you get to carve up and use this piece or that piece.
The slave Bible designed to repress rebellion, but it didn't work. Enslaved people in the Caribbean constantly fought against slavery until emancipation.
I think it's very relevant to understand our history, not just American history, but our African American history, our roots and how we got to this point.
1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48, and laid open the book of the law, where the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. I was tagged to this. Those who control your entertainment industry know who you are. It's you who don't know who you are.
No, well, you still stay.
Now, Idris, he is playing Mashiach, the one they call Christ, okay? And the Allstate insurance guy, he's playing the Most High, okay? So, yeah, this is what these people do, all right? They make fun, they mock us. They know the so-called Negroes are the biblical people. They know they are the Hebrew Israelites. But let me show you in other films that they know before I move on. Real quick.
The lost tribes of Israel were black.
Did you see his necklace?
Yeah.
That necklace, 21st dynasty,
So?
when Solomon was king of Israel.
I'm a black Jew, I can't read, I'm half drunk. I'm a black Jew, and he accepts me. I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. Garbage. You're the son of God. You're the son of God. You're the son of God.
Do you know that the black man in America is Israel? That he's Jews? Do you know that?
Yes. Yes. I do not kill with my gun. He who kills with his gun has forgotten the face of his father. I kill with my heart.
Now, this part of the film is very significant. It is huge for us as a people, so-called Negroes, the Hebrew Israelites, the biblical people. This is huge for us. They're mocking us. They're making fun of us because they know we don't know who we are. Okay? They know we have forgotten who we are. and they're making fun, and they're very creative with this thing here, right? They're saying, the phrase they're saying, I don't aim with my hand. He who aims with his hand has forgotten the face of his father. I aim with my eye, right? And then they said, I don't shoot with my gun, right? He who shoots with his gun, right? You Negroes killing each other, has forgotten the face of his father, okay? I shoot with my mind, okay? So he aims with his eye and he shoots with his mind, right? And then the last phrase, they say, I don't kill with my gun, right? He who kills with his gun, you Negroes killing each other, have forgotten the face of his father, right? I kill with my heart, your mind. Why are they saying this? Why do they have these brothers saying this in this film? This is huge because it's about us. We have forgotten the face of our Father, the Most High God, okay? That's the problem. And they know that, and they're being very creative. But I want to go here in the scriptures to prove these things. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 26 to prove what the Father has did to his people and why we have forgotten the face of our Father. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. You see that? The Father has made our memory to cease from among men. This is why we have forgotten the face of our Father. This is biblical right here. You see that? If we connect this to Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20, thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets. Remember, he said he would scatter us into corners. That's why we lie at the head of all the streets. As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord, of the Most High God, the rebuke of your God. See, the Father afflicted us, put us in slavery, and now we are lying at the head of all the streets, okay? And our memory has ceased. Nobody knows who we are, okay? We are a forgotten people. That's why we have forgotten the face of our Father, okay? We don't remember that we are the biblical people. But let's go here in another book they took out, 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 7. Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen, the Gentiles. God's children were scattered among the Gentile nations. Let their names be put out of the earth. This is why we don't remember who we are. This is why they're hiding our identity. For they have despised my covenant. See, this is what the Father has did to us. This is why we have forgotten the face of our Father, and they're hiding this stuff, and they don't want you to know it, but they know who we are. And this is why they mock us, and they put these things in these films. Okay, let's go here. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 32. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number, right? Have forgotten the face of his Father. That's why they're saying that, because it's about us. And that's why they have him playing this role. This is why they have him playing this role. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 27. Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams. Yeah, America, they fill you with all these dreams and hopes to be all you want and be all you can be. Because they've hid our history and taught us their BS. And teaching you dreams when you are the biblical people. You are the famous people. Everybody knows who we are except us. You see what I'm saying? Which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. And if you look up Baal, it means the Lord. And what are we seeing in these churches that they set up? Who are we calling? We're calling the Most High the Lord, which means Baal, the devil. Okay? We are totally deceived. We need to seek wisdom on a major level here. But let me bring out one more thing before we move forward. One last scripture, Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 4, right? To prove they're mocking us here. Therefore have I made you, us, a reproach unto the heathen, the Gentiles. This is why these people hate us, because we are a reproach to them. This is what the Father made us. And a mocking to all countries. And they are mocking us in all of these films, in all of these countries across the nation. They know who we are, but they're making fun of us in all these films. That's why they're showing us to be the biblical people, but never telling us.